All right, welcome back. Day 14 of my promised 14-day series of at-home workouts that anyone can do, and we scale up to the people that have a higher degree of fitness that can accomplish a little bit more. Today's workout is 14 minutes on a running clock of two movements. You're going to do, we're going to call them squats, but where they're actually pistols for those of you that can do one-legged squats, coupled with farmer's carry. So the idea is 3 squats on one leg, 3 squats on the other, followed by up to a minute of farmer's carry. And then whatever you've used to do those two movements in combination, you're going to look at the clock and go that long on top of that for rest. So you're going to have equal amounts of work and rest throughout the 14 minutes. And it's going to change with every interval. So if the second time you do 3, and a minute, then you're going to get that same amount of time as your rest. And if that gets a little bit longer as time goes on, that's not unexpected. Don't expect every round to be exactly the same as your first round, but that's how you're going to do it. So let's talk about what these movements are. We're going to start with the easiest version of this. So you can just do a squat to target if that's your limit on your range of motion. So that's just going to involve having a chair, something that you can control your position all the way down to a seated position and return to standing. So I'm going to use my box on the 24-inch mark as a bit of a guide. It's a little bit higher than some of the chairs that you might have. So all I'm going to do, if I can't do one leg, I'm going to do both. And all I'm going to do is control. I'm going to keep my chest nice and upright, sit myself down to target, and stand back up again. If you do have the ability to do a single leg variation on this, and again, it depends on how high that target is. If you're going with a lower seat, then your legs will get a little bit more time under tension, and so you don't have to try one leg if you're not ready for it. But if you've got a nice high position and you want to try one leg, just make sure that your leg shifts slightly closer to your center. Same thing, I'm going to hold my leg out. I'm going to exaggerate it here so you can see that I'm using one leg. And I'm just looking to bring my butt down to the target. If I'm able to simply touch it lightly and press back up again, great. Otherwise, as I come back down, I can place my butt all the way down, rest my weight, put my feet underneath me, and stand up and repeat so that I get 3 on one leg and then 3 on the other. And so if you're doing something like a squat to target, you can go lower and lower and lower and find the threshold that works best for you. If you're comfortable doing a squat freestanding or holding onto a target like this, so for example, if I'm still working on pistols, which is the one-legged squat, and I need a little bit of assistance to make sure that I don't tip over and I want to maintain my balance, then I can hang on to something like this, still grab my foot, keep it up, press up. If I'm able to do it freestanding, great. Those are your choices for the one-legged squat or two-legged if you need it. So if you're doing it single-legged, 3 per side. If you're doing it with both legs, just do 6 in total and then move on to farmer's carry. So again, running clock, so doing those squats might take you 20, 30, 40, even 50 seconds, but you still have up to a minute of farmer's carry. So I say up to because I can't predict what loading you're going to have. So if you've got a couple of really heavy objects in your hand, you might go less time. You might go to failure before you reach 60 seconds. Or 60 seconds may elapse and you could go longer, but I don't want you to. I want you to just go for 60 seconds in total or less and then rest the equal amount of the work that you did preceding that minute. So for farmer's carry, again, I'm going to use my examples of things that you have lying around the house. Really, it can be anything. 2 heavy handled objects that are equal in weight. I mean, if they're not perfectly equal in weight, that's fine. It doesn't have to be precise, but it should be somewhat close to get the effect of farmer's carry. So in this case, I've got 2 jugs. They're different brands and different colors, but they weigh exactly the same. They're both filled with the same amount of liquid. So I would literally just hang on to this for up to a minute. So I'd have to keep an eye on the clock based on when I started, and then make sure that I stop myself after a minute if my grip hasn't already gotten too tired. I can tell you that if you decide to do it statically, if you just decide to stand there and hold on to it, you don't have to walk around with it. But I do find that walking around is a bit of a distraction and allows you to get through the minute a little bit more easily than if you just simply sit still. But if you can pace or walk around the room, anything that allows you to keep an eye on the clock, great. If you've got a pair of dumbbells, kettlebells, farmer's carry handles, whatever it is that you have, just make sure that you don't wander away so far that you can't tell when your minute is up. So between the squats and the farmer's carry, might take you, I'm guessing it'll be at a maximum 2 minutes. It'll probably be less than that. So whatever it takes you to finish that first round, you're going to make sure that you watch the clock, do the math in your head, figure out exactly how much rest you get, and don't start your next round until the same amount of time has expired, and then just repeat that process until 14 minutes is up. If you wind up finishing and only having a minute left, like let's say you're on rest and the 14 minutes runs out, doesn't matter, you're fine. Just end at 14 minutes regardless of where you are in the sequence. So that's it. That's 14 days of workouts. Send me some feedback. Let me know how you made out with these. Be sure to follow me on social media. The handle is @boxjumperover40 on Twitter, Instagram, and on Facebook. And visit boxjumper.ca to subscribe to my mailing list and subscribe to the podcast. I've got some interesting guests coming up over the next couple of weeks. And of course, all the interviews will be done remotely. So subscribe to the podcast so you can hear more interesting stuff about fitness, health, and all sorts of topics that are interesting to folks that really care about their overall wellness. All right, that's day 14. Get out there and give this workout a try, and let me know how you made out with the rest of them. Thanks.